Welcome back to my channel. My name's Jacob Ferguson, and long time no see. Guess I should tell you where I've been, huh? Gladly. So on January 6th, I lost my job. It was not due to the insurrection, I will say that, but I lost my job. It was unexpected. It was a total blow to my confidence. And for a couple of weeks, Marceline, hey, get out of my bathroom. For a couple of weeks, I was scrambling to find another job. I did not want to have to rely on my family to help me out, which is what they ended up doing. And I'm forever grateful for my family. But anytime that I sat down to record one of these videos, and trust me, I sat down and recorded a lot of videos, I would start having a panic attack. Because I can't enjoy Drag Race right now. I need to focus on what I need to focus on, and what I need to focus on is finding a job. And I wasn't doing that, and I was scared and just not in a good mental headspace. Luckily, February 12th, I did receive a job and have been working where I've been working ever since. It's grueling, thankless, but it puts money on the table, and that is all that matters to me. And now that it has been a couple months and season 18 is kind of dying down, and I'm not feeling like I have a lot to catch up on, because another reason that I stopped doing videos is because it snowballed, and I just couldn't jump back into where I needed to be because, frankly, too much time had elapsed. Marceline, get out of my tub. Get out. Come here. Out. Get, go. Leave me be. This is also why I don't like recording videos, is because of her. I love her. But the second this camera comes on, she becomes a different cat. Lay down. Go to bed. Ran right underneath there again. So what is the thesis of today's video? What are we even doing? What are we doing? I know. Remember a while ago, it's not about season 18, by the way. I'm still going to be waiting until that season is done. Mostly because, I'll be honest, one thing I will say about it. Started out kind of boring, got a lot better, and then has kind of fizzled out at the end. And I think that the problems started after the roast. I think from top 6 onward, it's just kind of been, it's not been terrible. It's not as terrible as like season 14 was, but man, it's just not, you know what I mean? Like, you get what I'm saying? It's just, it's fine. But it's just whatever, man, you know? So, a while ago I made a video entitled, Who Would Win in All-Stars Hunger Games? Yeah, I came to the conclusion that Irene won and all of that mess. And I mentioned a woman by the name of Babbity Kate, who I really love her videos. I really like the content of her videos. Not everybody does. I really don't give a shit. But in that same video, Babbity Kate was going through different scenarios on who would win, Checkers, other reality TV shows, all that. And she mentioned Drag Race. And the conclusion that she came to was interesting. She said that Mulan would win Drag Race. And as a Drag Race superfan myself, I don't know if I agree with it. I might not. We'll get into it. I wanted to see, what if all the Disney princesses competed on Drag Race? Who would win? Now, I think that we need to do a couple of parameters for this. For instance, where did Marceline even go? Oh. Hi. What are you doing? Okay. That's pretty neat. I'm gonna go back to making my video now, okay? Thank you. Don't hit me. You hit me, you get put outside. The parameters are as follows. First off, this is going to be a 12 episode season. And for Drag Race parameters, let's start with those. It's going to be a 12 episode season. And there's going to be 2 double saves. And that is because I did not want to do a 16 episode season. That would take way too long. It would take too much brain power to try to figure out what would happen. And frankly, I think that 12 episodes is a perfect episode amount for this amount of queens that we're doing. Now, we also have to answer the question of what is a Disney princess? Because there are rules to what makes a Disney princess. Rules that are well established within the Disney princess canon. So here's the tea. In 2000, Disney established the Disney princess brand, right? And they had a bunch of their girls be Disney princesses. And I will just say that the lineup that they picked was good, but there were a couple of interesting ones. And I would say even now, the current lineup is interesting. There are your old favorites, but then there's also some that you wouldn't necessarily think were princesses. So I'm going to give you a minute. I want you to name all of the Disney princesses. Go. While y'all do that, I'm going to see what you tried to bite me. I'm this close to leaving the camera and you can take over. This close. If you're doing something stupid, Marceline, I need you to go in there and do something else. You going to bed? Nah, you just laying down. You're too big. Have y'all got it yet? You missing a few of them? You got all of them? Okay. You said Anna and Elsa, didn't you? I knew you would. So there are currently 13 Disney princesses. 13 Disney princesses, okay? I'm going to read them out to you mostly because I know that I will forget one, and I don't want to forget one, and I know exactly which one I would forget. We have Mulan, Tiana, Moana, Rapunzel, Pocahontas, Merida, Raya, Belle, Snow White, Cinderella, Ariel, Jasmine, and Aurora. No Anna, no Elsa. No, others. So let me explain to you what happened. So Anna and Elsa were never part of the Disney princess line. But sometimes you'll see dolls of them made. And when you see the Disney princess dolls, off to the side sometimes, in like some collector's edition ones, they will have a side compartment, like a little apartment for Anna and Elsa to live in, and it will say Disney's Frozen. See, Frozen was such an international and just box office success in general that they ended up making it their own franchise, which is fabulous. But that means that neither one of them were part of the Disney Princess brand. Now, in 2005, there were two other girls that were part of the Disney Princess brand, but in 2005, they cut them. Up until 2005, they were part of it, and then they cut them. So for 5 years, they were part of it. And those were Esmeralda and Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell got taken off to start her own franchise, the Disney Fairies franchise, and Esmeralda was taken off probably because her movie was of origin is Hunchback of Notre Dame, and also I'm not saying that she's too risque for dolls and kids and stuff like that. In fact, I think that Esmeralda would be a good role model for especially young Romani children, but I think that the parent backlash of her being a part of it was like a reason for her not being there. I also just think that her dolls weren't selling as much. So with those 13 queens or those 13 princesses, who wins? Now I do want to say this: if Esmeralda was a part of this lineup, this would just be a cakewalk. Esmeralda would win Drag Race no matter what. I feel like she has the skills to win Drag Race. Zoe got it. She would probably impersonate Cher on Snatch Game, not because she knows who she is, but because RuPaul would tell her to do that, and she would win it. And it's not, well, I guess it is because they're both gypsies, I guess. And Cher has a song called Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves, but, you know, she could really play anybody in Snatch Game and she would win because she has confidence. Tinkerbell would not win because she doesn't have magic. I should also tell you that there's no magic here. Rapunzel still got the long hair, I guess, but like she can't heal nobody with it, and it's not like she was gonna heal anybody with it to begin with, anyway, because no magic, and also nobody dying. So nobody's gonna have a Saki U moment and fall in the shower, and then Rapunzel has to come in and heal them. Nobody does that. This is just a normal season of Drag Race. So that means that there's a winner and then a bottom two lip sync elimination. The only time that this is going to be different is episode 1, where I'm going to pull a rule book, a page out of the rule book of UK versus the World season 3 and just have a top 2 lip sync. I think that instead of a double save would make a lot more sense. So let's get into it. Episode 1. Episode 1 is the talent show. So I always like the talent show first because I cannot stand the talent show. I'm tired of original tracks. Give me something else. I feel like a lot of these princesses would sing, and that's not a bad thing, but I do think that we would kind of get more of the same. Now, I've decided to include a top 6 because that would mean that there would be 7 safe. But in the top, we have Merida, Rapunzel, Mulan, Moana, Raya, and Ariel. Ariel, I think, would do a singing thing. Her voice is very good. I feel like the judges would really, really vibe with her. Moana would probably do something having to do with wayfinding or maybe singing as well. But again, her voice is really good. Louis Cavallo does a really good job as her voice actress. Mulan will do martial arts, and I feel like she does really well. And I also feel like Raya does some sort of martial arts dance, and I feel like she does really well. Raya is here, mostly, because originally I had it as a top 5. Raya was not included. I included Raya because she needs this. She needs this subtle, this high placement. Um, stay tuned on why she needs it. Um, but the top two are going to be Merida and Rapunzel. Rapunzel really could do anything. I feel like she could play guitar, and it would be fun. She could do a song, and it would be fun. She could do like rope, like hit like a jump rope with the hair like Jax, and it would be fun. But whatever she does, she's gonna be in the top for it because she definitely has the it factor to do that. And I also think Merida is in the top two. She does archery, and I mean they've never had that done on Drag Race. It's a unique talent. I think that RuPaul would love it because Merida is a lot of things, but a bad shot is not one of them. Except for when she's getting attacked by a bear. But you know, Ross Matthews is on the opposite side of the panel. Okay, she ain't got to worry about any bears there. If there were a bottom sort of thing, I think that Belle, Aurora, and Snow White are going to be part of that. Snow White because I feel like her song is going to be not as good. Aurora because I don't know what she would do and I doubt that she would be good. And Belle because, again, I don't know what she would do, and reading a book is not talent. And again, we're basing it off of their movie of origin and not like the live action thing. So yeah, she could MacGyver some shit if she was Emma Watson, but she's not. She's, Paige O'Hara in this version. And also she doesn't have like the ice skating Belle's Enchanted Christmas tea or the other one with Tim Curry. And is that the same one? It's the same one. Belle's Magical World. That's the other one. Where she does something. But I feel like they would probably be in the bottom. And if it was an elimination, well, we'll get to it. But Merida wins the lip sync. Not because I think that she could beat Rapunzel, but because Merida needs this win as well. I feel like RuPaul would love Merida the way that he loves Lawrence Chaney. They're both Scottish, and I feel like Merida's accent would tickle him in a way that none of the other girls could understand. And again, Rapunzel's just good at what she does. Episode 2 is going to be RDR Live. Before you guys come for me, I hate RDR Live too. I put it on here because if they're saying it's a staple challenge, then whatever. Let's just make it a staple challenge. RDR Live is really about embodying a character, making it funny, and making the character fully realized. And that's why I think our top 3 do really well. They're going to be Tiana, Rapunzel, and Moana. Moana, I think, would do really well at kind of not fully realizing a character, because she doesn't necessarily know what she wants in her original journey, but what she does do is, I don't know, I think that she would just be, like, funny, personable, but, like, she's definitely third out of these things. Rapunzel does really well yet again, though the one thing that keeps her held back is she knows no references to any of what RDR Live is about. Tiana is fabulous, and she wins this challenge because she's fabulous. She knows exactly what she needs to do and how to do it, and she would be funny, personable, and I think Rue would live. The low placement this week is going to go to Snow White. I just don't see her doing that great with characterization. She's good at being herself, but that's about it. The bottom 2 are going to be Cinderella and Aurora. Cinderella, again, is great at being herself, but I don't necessarily know where she could go with a character because there's not a whole lot in her movie that she does. A lot of things happen to her, but she doesn't do a whole lot. She's not saving the day. That's the mice's job. The mice, mouse, mountain. And Aurora is just boring. And if Aurora is your favorite Disney princess, I'm so sorry. But she is as plain as toast. And I just feel like they would be bored. I feel like she wouldn't do that great, and they would be like, well, we're going to put you in the bottom. I feel like it's a Kimora Black Starlet situation where, like, she's a little bit quiet throughout all of this and just ends up going home or ends up being in the bottom because she's silent, like Layla McQueen. And I did kind of spoil it. Cinderella does lip sync against Aurora, and Cinderella wins. Not because she's a better dancer than Aurora. I think they're both equally matched, but because Cinderella has more of a storyline. She could have more of a storyline than Aurora could. So Aurora is 13th. Episode 3 is going to be The Ball. It's The Ball. Doesn't really matter what the categories are. Rapunzel wins because Rapunzel can sew. We know Rapunzel can sew because she sings about it in her original movie. High placements are going to be Snow White and Cinderella. We don't see Cinderella making an outfit per se, but like her family treated her like a maid. She definitely had to mend a couple of sheets. Snow White also was treated like a maid by the evil queen, so she definitely knows how to sew. Also, I feel like those would have been skills that they would have been taught anyway because they were young women at a time where that was expected of them. So they would definitely be in the high placement. The low placement this week is going to go to Belle. We have never seen her sew anything. And this isn't the MacGyver Emma Watson situation, so... Marcy. Calm down. So I put her as low, not because... See, okay, here's the thing with Belle. I like Belle. Belle is my favorite Disney princess. I like her movie a lot. If Esmeralda was on there, Belle would still be my favorite. The problem is that I had Belle being sent home here. I just don't see it. I think that RuPaul would like Belle. I feel like RuPaul would like how smart she is. I feel like she would get a lot of the references that RuPaul throws at her. Because she would have put in the work. And so she gets saved. I also think that she could do something, like she would have read how to sew a dress and would have done it. Or at least read the manual and turned on, knew how to work the machine by reading the manual. I'm not saying that what she would produce would have been that great, but she would have put in a lot more effort than our bottom two, which are Raya and Jasmine. Jasmine, I don't know. I don't know where to put her, so I'm putting her here. It is unfortunate because Jasmine could have a storyline, but I feel like they would nerf her in favor of Belle. She and Belle would have been neck and neck. I think that Jasmine has a bunch of like people doing shit for her. I feel like Jasmine doesn't sew. I feel like Jasmine is hot glue gun or is asking somebody else to make it, but I feel like she's not asking because she doesn't like people. She wants to be free. And so as a result, she's in the bottom. Raya is not a seamstress at all. She does not do any of that. Though I do think that her military training would help her out. I just don't see her making a very, very good outfit. She and Jasmine are going to be in the bottom, and I'm going to send Jasmine home. Raya probably could outdance Jasmine because we don't really see Jasmine dance in her original movie. Unless she dances while she's in the slave guard that Jafar puts her in. But I doubt very seriously that she does. Episode 4 is going to be branding, and despite my better judgment, I'm going to give the win to Belle. Because Belle... Okay, here's the thing. Here's why this episode gave me the most trouble. Because of who goes home and who wins. Tiana was originally going to be my winner. Tiana can brand a restaurant. She knows what she's doing in terms of marketing things. But she already has a win. I don't want to make the season obvious. I want to have an ebb and flow. The other winner that I was considering was Ariel. However, Ariel has a problem that could help her or hinder her. And so I didn't know which way to do that, so Belle got the win. Belle, I think, could come up with whatever they were marketing, whether it be soda, whether it be, a throne, a toilet, whatever. Belle could find a way to do that. I think that she is able enough to do that. Who else was in the top this week? Rapunzel. Yeah, Rapunzel could, but I feel like she would be like, look at this. This is great, right? Like, I feel like if she was marketing like a pan, she probably could. She'd say, hit stuff with it. I'm still going to give the win to Belle, though I'm not quite certain. Ariel, okay, here's the problem with Ariel. On the one hand, she's not going to know what any of this branding is, right? If you give her a soda, she ain't going to know what a soda is. And I feel like Scuttle would have probably told her what a soda is, and he would have done it incorrectly. And as a result, I could see that being really funny, and Michelle Visage, because of course Michelle's going to direct the commercials, laughing her ass off at it. Or I could see it hurting her because she didn't really follow the prompt, didn't know what to do, and there's a high likelihood that she's going to steal whatever is being on set, and they're going to need it back, and she's not going to give it back. So she's definitely, I think, going to be in the bottom half, because I just don't think that she would have done that well. And even if she was in the top here, she wouldn't have lasted very long in the competition afterwards, and I'll explain why after this. Raya is also in the bottom again. Raya sucks at branding herself. She is a loner. She probably does not care about this challenge in the slightest. What? Did you get stuck underneath there? Mamar. As for the lip sync, the bottom two, Raya and Ariel, they lip sync. Raya wins. Ariel just got her legs like a while ago, but she's still getting used to them, and I don't think that she's out there cutting a rug. I also don't believe that she's gonna want to learn the words. I feel like they would hand her the ear plugs, and she'd steal them. She would be enamored with the fact that there were earplugs, and then the song would start playing, and she would get scared. Ariel goes home here, and what are you doing? Marceline, you better know how to get out from underneath there, because I'm not moving my dresser to pull you out, you behemoth. Anyway, episode 5 is going to be Snatch Game. Now, Snatch Game is weird because we don't know who they would play or anything like that. I'm going to give the win to Mulan. I know exactly who she'd play. She'd play the Emperor of China. I feel like she would do a really, really good job because she knows the Emperor personally. And, by the way, if Ariel didn't go home last week, she would have gone home this week. She would probably have done a dolphin, done really terribly as the like minty fresh unicorn levels of terrible, and gone home. Um, and that's just that. Marcy, you good? Mulan wins. High placements, high placements. Let's see here. Are gonna be Tiana and Belle. Belle, hear me out. Hey, hey, get out from underneath there, you beast. Scratching up something. Belle would do her research. Belle would look for references that other people would have missed, and she would listen to RuPaul on who RuPaul would have wanted her to play, and she would do that. And she would do really, really either good job or good but just okay. I feel like her runway would be fine. Tiana also probably would do really well. She could play anybody and it'd be good, but I think that she would try and embody Mama Odie. Um, in the low placement, I put Rapunzel. Originally had her as high because I thought that she could do impersonations really well because she was stuck in that tower all that time. But then I realized, who is she going to impersonate? Who would Rapunzel impersonate? She only knows two people. I mean, she knows the king and queen, but like that's a new relationship. She doesn't really know them. So like who? Pascal? She can't play a chameleon. But the thing about Rapunzel is I feel like she has the charm to make it work. I feel like she has the know how and the brains to be like, we're doing this. Um, and so she would play safe. Bottom two are Cinderella and Pocahontas. Pocahontas because I don't feel like she would do that great in this challenge. I feel like she's kind of very stoic, and I also don't know who she would do. I feel like she would do somebody from her tribe, but I don't feel like she would do them very well, and also none of them are celebrities. They're all historical figures, sure, and sure she could pull from that, but like that's her life. Like she's impersonating somebody like that's her life. To us, they're historical figures. That's why sometimes I have a problem with Pocahontas being a Disney princess because like she was a real person who was 12, who got kidnapped and taken to England. But sure, I've never heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon before, so I guess that works. And the other bottom two placement is Cinderella. I just don't think that she would be good at this challenge. I think that she wouldn't be able to impersonate somebody funny, and yeah, Pocahontas sends Cinderella home. Pocahontas, I feel like would murder a ballad. If you gave her like a Carpenter song, she would be great. I feel like she would be a great Celine Dion. Cher, obviously, she could do Cher. Um, but like a strong ballad where she could stand on business, I feel like she would win. Um, Pocahontas sends Cinderella home. Episode 6 is an improv slash hosting challenge. Tiana wins. Tiana is a host at her own restaurant. She wins. It's pretty cut and dry, too. She's miles above the rest. Rapunzel and Mulan end up in the top, and I don't necessarily... I understand why I put Rapunzel. Why did I put Mulan? I'm gonna change this, and I'm gonna make it Moana. Moana would be a lot more welcoming as a host. I feel like Mulan would kind of... She'd do okay, but like she wouldn't do that great, especially if she has to be in high glam for it. She would feel uncomfortable. Um, Rapunzel would welcome. Well, okay, now she would. Technically, before, um, she would kind of be nervous and, but I feel like she would be fine now, um, being out there, and also I feel like she would just be happy to see people because she didn't get to do that a whole lot. She had a chameleon as a best friend. The low placement here is Raya. Um, I was gonna put her in the bottom, but then I decided not to because that would be her third bottom, and I do not want to do that. Bottom two are gonna be Pocahontas and Snow White. I completely forgot I put Pocahontas here. I feel like Pocahontas wouldn't want to host anything. She don't want that responsibility. And I also feel like, again, the monotone of it all, I don't feel like she would do that great. I also think that, like, sure, listen to your heart, but like the language barrier and stuff. Not only is English not her first language, it's Powhatan. Um, I hope I'm saying that right. But like she definitely would not be comfortable up there. And Snow White in an improv challenge just is a no. Pocahontas again sends Snow White home. Um, if Snow White is your favorite, I'm sorry, she's my least favorite. I cannot stand Snow White at all. The fact that I allowed her to make it this far is diabolical on my end. But I felt like she wouldn't be bad. I just feel like the judges really wouldn't get her vibe, and I feel like Pocahontas has so much of like a structure to her, and like could do really well going forward. Episode 7 is girl groups. This is the top 8. I'm going to give the win to Moana because her voice is really good. And her group is going to be Mulan, Tiana, Moana, and Rapunzel. So they're going to be in the top. Mulan, and Tiana, and Rapunzel all place high. I feel like this group is very good, very consistent. I feel like Moana is the standout, but Tiana is also really good. All of their voices are really good. I feel like Rapunzel's the weakest link, but even then, it's all still good. Merida and Pocahontas are low. Merida because RuPaul loves her accent. Pocahontas because she had the best vocals of her group. I feel like this group is bad because, how do I put this? None of them work cohesively together. Raya is a loner, Belle is a loner, Pocahontas is a loner, and Merida is a loner. None of them get along. And I feel like that is a recipe for disaster. Belle and Pocahontas and Raya lip sync. And now we get to this weird part where Raya has 2 bottoms, Belle has none. Raya, by all accounts, should go home here. But I feel like Belle does not try in this lip sync. I feel like she's getting tired of the girls. And I feel like the girls are getting tired of her. And I feel like Raya puts up a much stronger fight than Belle does to stay. So Belle gets the chop at top 8. And realistically, Belle could have gone a little bit farther, but not by much. She was never going to win. Because I feel like people would like her. The fans would like her, but the other queens just don't get her aesthetic, don't get her vibe. I feel like that puts a target on her back. Moving on to the top 7, it's a Rusical. I gave the win to Tiana. Tiana can sing down. Moana and Rapunzel are both high. I feel like they do a mighty fine job dancing and all of that. Who did I put as low? Yeah. Mulan is Mulan is safe. She does fine singing, but I feel like the dancing is where she messes up. But I mean, she does fine. And she can play a character. She played a character all through the army. Low is Pocahontas because Pocahontas just does okay, but I feel like it's that okay of like, yeah, but you could have done a little bit more. I just feel like she doesn't give herself the biggest part. She doesn't want to stand out, and the judges want to see her stand out because it's time. Raya and Merida are bottom two, and this is a close call because both of them, I think this would be insane. But I'm going to give the win to Merida. I think that track record has caught up to Raya. I feel like a lot of people are doubting her success, so she's going to go home. She gets a sent packing. And we make it to the top six. So currently in the top six, we have Mulan, Rapunzel, Tiana, Pocahontas, Moana, and Merida. And it is time for the roast battles. So I'm taking a page out of Canada versus the World Season 2 here and doing like a reading battles thing. Who actually wins the reading challenge is actually going to be Pocahontas. I feel like her sort of stoic sense of humor would be a lot funnier in a reading challenge than in like an improv challenge. But let's go to the roast battles. I'm going to give the win to Mulan. Mulan's funny. She's jokes. And I feel like Mushu is a ghostwriter for her. At one point, I think she looks at Tiana and says, "Dishonor on your cow," and nobody understands the reference. Moana and Rapunzel and Tiana do really well. Rapunzel starts to read and just insults everybody, and it's really funny because she doesn't know that she's doing it. Tiana and Pocahontas are teamed up, and they're the best collectively, but Mulan has a fierce joke about not being able to understand Merida's accent, and I think that's where she gets the win. Low is Pocahontas again; she did the best, and bottom two are Moana and Merida, and Merida goes home. Moana wins the lip sync because she, I think, has more control, and I think at this point Merida just is not giving what she needs to give. Episode 10, we're at the top 5, is the Makeover Challenge. This is going to be a non-elimination. Nobody goes home. Win is going to go, and this time they're going to have to make over their husbands or best friend, in the case of Moana, which is Maui. The win goes to Pocahontas. Hear me out. Pocahontas would give Native American realness down, and she would probably be wearing like historically accurate Native American, like she would pair it up really well, and John Smith would be fine. I will say that like she wins because of presence, not because her partner does the best. I honestly think that Tiana and Naveen tear in this. They are amazing. But again, Tiana has 3 wins, and I can't give her 4. I can't. Like, that's too much. That's too many wins. Rapunzel does fine. She and Flynn get along really well. I think that the makeover is not bad. Mulan has an issue because she can't really do high glam she can do high glam well. She just doesn't want to. She wants to do, the Victor Victoria of it all and not dress up to the nines. And Moana is put in the bottom because Maui is a rock. No pun intended. Like, he is a brick. Like, there's not a whole lot that she could do with Maui. So they both get put in the bottom, but they're both saved because like in season 17, the love vibrations are too strong. Episode 11 is an interesting one because this is going to be their specialty challenge, the princess challenge, as I'm calling it. What it takes to make yourself a princess. So, who wins? The winner of this challenge is going to be Rapunzel. I feel like Rapunzel has what it takes to be an actual princess. Yes, she was sheltered for the majority of her life, but I feel like she and Tiana are the ones that pick it up the fastest. It is about diplomacy. It is about appearance. It is about wit, and it is about gowns, otherwise known as dawg. D-A-W-G. And appearance is different than gowns. Gowns is like the runway category. That's the final category. But appearance is more of a making appearances at things. Like diplomacy and wit are kind of in there as well. Like basically they have to do like a sit down with RuPaul and act like a princess, act like a royal would. And Mulan is just not about that because she's not a real princess, and that's fine for what this is. But she's not. She's not a real princess. She is, at best, the wife of a general who was also a soldier. So, I mean, she has some pull there. They're both soldiers. But unless China turns into a military dictatorship in her movie, she's not the person in charge. That's the Emperor of China. And she's not married to the Emperor of China. She's married to Shang. Moana, I think, has a problem with this a little bit, but not much. Because I feel like she could pick it up the fastest. She could pick it up more easily than Pocahontas can. Pocahontas does not want to be there. Does not want to do princess things. She wants to jump off cliffs and sit pensively on a rock and talk to a tree. She does not want to be anywhere near a ball gown. In fact, in the second movie, when they put her in one, it is crazy, and she looks Boo Boo the Fool. And so she's in the bottom. Moana is saved because she has experience making decisions. And Mulan sends Pocahontas home. It's about time. Mulan originally did not have this many bottom placements. She only had the one. She only had this one. But I decided to give her another one to really save Pocahontas, give Pocahontas a chance. But I don't really think that Pocahontas would do that great. I also think that a lot of our queens would be, or a lot of our princesses would be eliminated here, such as Raya, Belle, Ariel. I also think would be eliminated here if she wasn't eliminated previously, because she doesn't want to do princess things. She wants to go explore. Belle also wants to go explore, but I feel like Belle would be low tier here, but again, she's not in the competition. So now we have a top four: Mulan, Moana, Rapunzel, and Tiana. Tiana has 3 wins. Moana, Mulan, and Rapunzel each have 2 wins. I think Moana only has 1 win, and that's girl groups, and that's fine. Yeah, she only has 1 win, but that's okay. I think I did not. I think. Yeah, I nixed her at the Yeah, I changed Moana's placement out. She would have had 2 wins if not for Mulan's thing. The Queen's lip sync, and I'm gonna just say this: Moana and Mulan are the strongest lip syncers of the cast thus far. So they're obviously going to be paired together. As for Rapunzel and Tiana, I feel like Rapunzel would have shown all of her tricks week 1 because she didn't think about saving any of them. So I think that Tiana is going to take that. And then Mulan and Moana lip sync, and I think that Mulan takes Moana. And as for the top 2, it really comes down to personal taste. Honestly, neither one of their track records are really that bad. It is a Saphira Nymphia style thing again, with an Asian winner going up against an African American winner. I personally am going to say that I think both of them should win. But if I had to choose, I would choose Tiana. I feel like Tiana has a better track record, and I feel like for the brand, you want a queen that's going to work very hard. But it could be a double crowning, and I would be okay with it, mostly because Mulan is that bitch. But again, if Esmeralda was there, she would have won. She would have won everything. And we're not even getting down to the true tea, which is the fact that none of this really matters because Pleakley from Lilo and Stitch tears all of their asses up. She wins every single challenge and just takes it home. But since she's not a Disney princess, which she should be, Miss Pleakley should be, I have come to the conclusion that the winner of Drag Race is Tiana, followed very, very closely by Mulan. Mulan could win. So Babbity Kate is not wrong. But I feel like those are the two that production and the fan base would want to see. As for who wins Miss Congeniality, it's Rapunzel. Rapunzel really would have made a lot of friends, and I feel like the queens would have voted for her. However, if it was fan voted, it would be Ariel. Ariel would win Miss Congeniality because everybody likes Ariel. Golden Boot would probably go to Raya. If not Raya, then it would probably go to Jasmine for whatever she created that got her sent home. But yeah, tomorrow is the Lollapalooza, which is fun. I will talk about that later down the line. I'm getting back into the swing of things. I love you guys. Stay fresh out there. And I will see you guys when I see ya. Bye.